This happened over a decade ago, but I still remember every second. Back then, I was 17. So I was a big guy who played football, yet I was quiet. I liked my space, and one weekend, my mom was out of town with her sisters, while my older cousin, who I shared the house with, was pulling a double shift. I had the whole place to myself. My plan was simple, and it was a night of junk food, along with late-night gaming on the living room TV. Beside me was my old mutt named Baxter, who was a golden retriever mix whose muzzle had turned gray and who moved slowly. He never barked, and he never cared, because he just liked curling up on my feet and sleeping. It was close to 1 a.m., so the game was off, and I was half asleep with a carton of fried rice on my lap when I heard a sharp thump at the back of the house. I did not flinch, because houses make noise, and that was what I told myself. But Baxter lifted his head as his ears perked and his tail stiffened. I patted him and said, "It is nothing, boy," but he did not lie down. Then it came again, and it was louder, so it was closer. Suddenly, Baxter launched off the couch, and he ran straight toward the basement door. He started growling and barking, and I had never heard him make a sound like that. His whole body tense because he was ready to fight. That was when I heard it. There was metal scraping while the old basement door rattled on its frame, and someone was trying to get in. Now the basement was only used for storage since the back entrance was half buried in dirt, so it was barely held by rusted hinges. It was not just locked because it was stuck, yet the banging kept coming, and it was harder, so it was more focused. Through the dog's snarls, I heard something else since there was a voice. It was a whisper. At first, then it became a muttered curse. I ran to my room and I grabbed the bat I kept under my bed. Every step back down the stairs felt heavier, and I did not know what I was going to do, but Baxter was already at the basement door. He was pawing and growling like he wanted to tear through it. Then I heard it again, so it was a man's voice right on the other side that said, "Screw this," and the banging stopped. I did not sleep the rest of that night. The next morning, my cousin came home, and we checked the basement door together. When he pulled it just once, it crashed down flat. One more shove and whoever was out there would have made it inside. I think Baxter knew somehow because he was an old dog with bad joints, but that night he moved like a wolf. He heard something in that voice that I did not, and he knew it was not just a break-in because it was worse. He passed a few years later, and before the vet gave him the shot, I knelt beside him, and I whispered, "You saved me. I believe that with everything I have got. Thanks, Bax. I hope whatever you scared away that night stayed away."